In a land where every step can be the final step, nature hides nothing. Here, survival is not a choice. It is an unchanging law. Botswana is a land where life always stays at the edge of being erased. The ground cracks under prolonged heat. The air is so dry that every movement leaves a trace. Here, existence does not come from luck. It comes from the correct reaction within a fraction of a second. Water is not only for drinking. It is the point of contact between pursuit and escape. Shade does not offer rest. It conceals potential risk. There is no time for hesitation. There is no space for error. Every organism is forced into the same harsh choice: adapt faster than the environment or be removed from the cycle of survival. The space around the pride changes continuously with each small shift in the environment. The wind carries the scent of other species from the edge of the territory. The lionesses must adjust their positions almost without pause. Bodies lower, heads turn slowly. Ears stand high to separate individual sounds across the grass. There is no roaring. There is no display behavior. Every reaction is brief, precise, and energy efficient. At the center of the formation, the cubs begin to move more. The distance between adults stays minimal. The viewing angles are distributed evenly to prevent blind spots for an extended time. On the outer edge of the territory, other predators continue to move but do not approach. Hyenas keep their distance when the male lion is present. Jackals maintain space and wait for a more favorable moment. No direct conflict occurs. Silence covers the area, but it is not an absolutely safe state. Under sparse trees, the male lion lies motionless. The body presses against the ground. There is no unnecessary movement. Only when the chest expands does a low sound emerge. From the edge of the forest, large bodies gradually become visible. The herd of elephants steps out in a loose line, and the distance between individuals remains stable. When entering the open area, the herd of elephants does not change its pace. There are no signs of tension. There are no defensive reactions. The nearby lions maintain their positions. In this relationship, elephants are not targets and are not animals that need to be avoided. After a short period of staying, the herd changes direction. The formation turns slowly, and each individual follows in sequence as they leave the area with the lions. The leading elephant guides the herd toward the wide plain where the grass is low and visibility is open. There are no collisions. There is no direct interaction. The separation occurs naturally, as if it were a long-established rule. There is no warning sign. Two cheetahs are already within frame. The grass is low, the ground is hard. Every movement is visible from far away. They do not move directly toward the water source. Their path breaks repeatedly. Each change of direction is short and definite. Stopping time is almost zero. The cheetahs do not claim the space. They pass through it and keep their bodies ready to depart at any moment. The distance between the two individuals is always maintained. They do not stay too close. They do not move too far apart. On this plain, cheetahs do not compete directly with lions. They survive by reading the space, choosing the correct moment, and leaving before risk forms. From the edge of the plain, a herd of elephants approaches with a wide formation. The adults hold the outer positions and control the space as they near the water. At the center of the herd are two young elephants. They move forward with unsteady steps. When they reach the water's edge, their short trunks lower repeatedly. The water stirs violently, and mud rises as they pull in incomplete gulps. The sound of breaking water echoes clearly across the open ground. The adults stop behind them and spread evenly around the hole. There is no pushing. Every position opens a viewing angle onto the plain. The waterhole never remains calm for long. When one herd arrives, the entire order around the space changes instantly, making room for the next species to approach. The ground begins to vibrate lightly before distinct shapes appear. From the low horizon, a large moving mass gradually expands. It is the herd of Wildebeest. The numbers are large, the density is high. The dark coats blend into the dry grass. No individual separates from the group. All movement stays within the collective flow. When they enter the open area, the formation tightens automatically. Individuals keep short distances, shoulder to shoulder. The steps are steady and do not accelerate suddenly. Their heads rise and lower continuously as their vision scans in multiple directions. Their ears rotate rapidly and respond to every small sound in the surroundings. The open terrain forces them to maintain a high level of alertness. The herd does not approach the water source immediately. They circle and expand the inspection area. Some individuals on the outer edge change direction slightly and form a flexible outer layer. This structure helps reduce the risk of an unexpected approach by predators. There is no panic, but tension is present in every step. As a grazing species, wildebeest do not have an advantage when confronting large predators directly. Their safety comes from numbers and synchronized movement. Even a small gap in the formation increases risk immediately. For this reason, the herd maintains a stable pace and does not stay in one place for long. As they move closer, the ground around them becomes quickly trampled. The spatial order shifts again. When the light rises, only very few signs of the previous hunt remain. Vultures descend from multiple directions and land quickly and precisely. They do not spread apart. The individuals gather around the remaining carcass and keep just enough distance to avoid collision. Their heads lower and their beaks work continuously. The processing time is short. By midday, the soft tissue has disappeared. Only dry bones remain on the ground. The giraffe moves gradually toward the waterhole in the open area where the ground is low and the visibility is wide and where there is no cover of any kind. With its specific body structure, each drinking attempt places its most vulnerable position in full exposure. It stops at the water's edge and observes the surrounding terrain before its two front legs slowly separate to the sides. Its center of gravity lowers, and its long neck angles downward in a narrow and tense position. At a short distance away, within a faint layer of shadow, a lion lies motionless. It creates no movement and no sound, but its presence maintains continuous pressure on the giraffe. The lowering body suddenly stops and rises again. The neck stays upright. The eyes scan the horizon. The ears rotate slightly to detect the smallest signals from the surrounding space. In the Hwangye Reserve, freshwater points do not only attract herbivores but also become high-risk areas. Field data records clear changes in waterhole approach patterns when lions are present. Giraffes stop at greater distances. Kudu expand their formation and leave earlier. The presence of lions does not require direct action. Tracks and scent marks left around the water are enough to alter the movement patterns of many large species. Water points that were once crowded become intermittently empty at different times. The leopard operates on its own path and stays away from areas with noise and high visibility. Its presence is often detected only when it is already close. Its body is low and compact and moves through tall grass and dense shrubs. It uses the dark patches that are divided by scattered moonlight. This is the environment where ambush reaches maximum effectiveness. The hunting strategy of the leopard does not depend on sustained speed. It depends on its ability to control complex terrain. Its shoulder muscles are well developed. Its curved and strong claws allow it to grip the rough tree bark. Waterholes are rarely used as direct waiting points. Open terrain increases the risk of exposure. When prey enters the controlled range, the short lunge occurs at high speed. The force is concentrated within a narrow distance. The bite targets the throat or the spine to minimize resistance. The difference lies in the final stage. The prey is lifted off the ground and carried up the tree. Weight is no longer a limitation. At that height, competing predators cannot reach it. A quiet space is established. The food source remains secure for many days. The leopard survives through its ability to adjust strategy to the environment, from dense, humid forests to dry, semi-desert regions. Its diet is not fixed and ranges from small animals to larger species, depending on the conditions of each region. This flexibility once allowed the leopard to expand its range across multiple continents. The image of the spotted hyena was once associated with carcasses and leftover remains. However, biological data collected over decades has reversed this perception. Most of the hyena's energy comes from active hunting, which accounts for nearly its entire daily intake. Accessing carcasses serves only as a supplement in specific conditions. The body structure of the hyena is not built for short bursts of speed. Instead, it is adapted for long-duration activity and sustained pressure on prey over extended distances. Its muscles and skeletal frame are optimized for endurance and allow it to pursue prey until the target is exhausted. The key factor lies in the jaws. The bite force exceeds 450 kilograms, placing it among the highest of any terrestrial mammal. Its thick, wide, and strong teeth allow it to crush parts that many other species leave behind. Large, dense, and hard bones do not interrupt the feeding process. Hyenas hunt collectively and rely on numbers and continuous coordination. A hyena clan can reach large size and sometimes includes up to 80 individuals. The social structure is maintained through a matriarchal system. Females hold dominant positions and have larger body size and mass influenced clearly by hormones. The hierarchy is established early and remains stable. It controls access to food, movement positions, and roles in hunting activity. With large numbers and a wide range of movement, hyenas control large living areas that include hunting routes, resting points, and water sources. Their consumption of carcasses removes decomposing organic material from the environment and reduces the spread of pathogens. When light decreases and temperature drops, the lions leave the resting area. Their movements begin slow and low. They do not approach open areas such as water edges directly. Instead, their direction follows tall grass lines, mound edges, and broken terrain. Hunting activity occurs mainly in darkness. Each individual keeps a set distance and maintains a dispersed but controlled formation. There is no loud sound. Their paws land softly. Their bodies stay low. Their direction adjusts continuously with terrain and wind direction. Prey often detects their presence only when the distance has already become short. The lion is the only large cat that maintains a stable cooperative hunting strategy. This structure allows them to handle targets that have large size and strong resistance. Individuals take different positions during the approach, including steering, movement direction, cutting escape paths, and blocking acceleration points. Herbivores that weigh hundreds of kilograms often become targets when contact happens. The entire process occurs quickly with concentrated force in a short distance to reduce injury risk. Lion hunting activity follows a strict sequence. The formation splits into smaller units from the beginning. Some individuals move along the outer path, keep their bodies low, and cut off escape routes. The prey is pushed toward an area where blocking force is already positioned. The distance closes quickly. When contact occurs, the entire process ends within a short time. After the prey collapses, the male lion appears first and takes the primary feeding position. The remaining portion of the prey quickly becomes a biological focal point. Within a short period, the number of vultures increases rapidly and covers the entire carcass area. The vulture's body is adapted to process carcasses in open environments. The head and neck lack feathers, which minimizes adherence of decomposing fluids when accessing deep areas of the chest cavity. This structure allows rapid cleaning and reduces the chance of carrying pathogens after leaving the carcass. The curved, hard, and sharp beak has enough force to cut through the thick hide of large mammals. The tongue has a rough surface that helps separate and remove remaining meat from bones. Feeding occurs quickly and with focus and leaves behind minimal organic material. Inside the body, the digestive system operates at an extreme level. The stomach contains acid with a pH close to 1, which is strong enough to break down dangerous bacteria and multiple biological toxins. Pathogens that normally persist for long periods in carcasses are destroyed completely. Vulture droppings have disinfecting properties and reduce pathogen density in the surrounding soil. As a result, carcasses do not become long-term sources of contamination on the savanna. Beyond vulture flocks, the Maribou stork appears as a factor that alters existing order. With height exceeding 1 meter and a long, thick bill, this bird moves directly into the central feeding area with firm steps. The body's structure reflects its survival strategy clearly. The bare head reduces contamination when feeding on carcasses. The strong, sharp bill allows access to different food types. The large throat pouch supports swallowing and temporary storage. During the peak heat of the African savanna, heat radiates onto the ground and makes all movement energy intensive. Shaded patches around large trees are occupied quickly, making the waterhole the only useful gathering point. At this time, giraffes begin moving. Unlike most herbivores that approach water in early morning or late afternoon, giraffes move in at midday. This timing matches the period when major predators such as lions, leopards, and hyenas reduce activity and retreat to rest to avoid energy loss. The giraffe's tall body allows early detection of distant movement in the open savanna. However, this advantage fades when approaching water. To drink, the long neck must lower and the front legs must spread wide, reducing reaction ability for several critical seconds. This moment reveals the structural trade-off clearly. Long-distance vision comes with a vulnerable posture at the water's edge. When fine dust covers the savanna's surface and the waterhole turns a murky brown, the sense of safety almost disappears. Below the still water lies a completely different space, where every movement is tightly controlled. The water surface reveals only minimal signals. A short ripple, two dark points rising close to the muddy edge. A single eye remaining fixed for an extended time. The Nile crocodile appears in this manner. Many individuals reach lengths greater than 5 meters and weights above 680 pounds. Yet the pressure they place on the water surface is nearly zero. The body stays low. The scales are coated with mud. The entire shape blends into the floor of the waterhole. There are no unnecessary movements. There are no constant position adjustments. Time passes at a different rhythm. Individuals can remain motionless for hours and continue into days or longer as long as the ambush point remains advantageous. When prey approaches the water's edge, a single step too deep or an uncontrolled lowering of the head eliminates the safe distance instantly. When the dry season extends and water levels continue to drop, hippos gather at the remaining waterholes. This is the only water source that maintains body temperature and survival. By midday, when air temperatures exceed 104 degrees Fahrenheit, most of the hippo's body stays submerged. Thick skin, large mass, and limited heat dissipation make water essential. An adult can weigh more than 3,300 pounds and creates significant pressure on the shrinking space. Hippos do not swim continuously, but move by walking along the riverbed with their heads and backs above the surface for breathing. As water area decreases, the distance between individuals narrows quickly. Collisions occur frequently. Dominant males in the center react strongly to any approach by other hippos. Crashes happen underwater with low, resonant sounds that travel across the surface. Territorial marking plays a decisive role in maintaining distance. Hippos swing their tails and spread dung around the area they occupy, creating clear recognition signals for others. This species is linked to rivers, lakes, and wetlands, but its range has shrunk significantly. Current estimates suggest only about 115,000 to 130,000 individuals remain. During movement between waterholes, hippos leave sunken pathways that channel water. Waste sinking to the bottom becomes a nutrient source for bottom organisms and fish, directly affecting surrounding water ecology. At savanna waterholes, African buffalo are often among the earliest arrivals. Large herds move continuously across wide grasslands and form dense clusters visible from a distance. Herd size can range from several dozen to several thousand individuals, creating high density around water points. Internal order is not based on blood relations but is established through controlled horn clashes that determine the position of each individual. Drinking time is shortened and concentrated in early morning or late afternoon when risk is lower. After leaving the waterhole, many individuals roll in wet mud. When dry, the mud layer forms a protective coating that reduces insect contact and decreases direct sunlight impact. This behavioral sequence repeats consistently and is closely tied to environmental conditions and herd stability. Every species must calculate distance and timing before approaching. For African buffalo, the greatest threat here does not come from predators. The real pressure appears when African elephants enter the area. When heavy footsteps sound, the buffalo herd spreads out and retreats. The black rhinoceros does not appear frequently at the same waterhole. Individuals move separately and only approach when the area is quiet, usually during the cooler hours of the day. At the end of the dry season, the sky over the savanna begins to shift. Thick clouds appear more often and hang low along the horizon. The first rains fall in scattered patterns and quickly soften the cracked ground. As rainfall increases, waterholes change within days. Small mud pools expand. Water levels rise. Multiple water points merge into shallow, flooded areas. Along the edges, vegetation recovers rapidly. Young grass grows thick, bright, and nutrient-rich. Blue wildebeest focus on low grasses that grow rapidly after rainfall. Water access usually occurs at early morning or late afternoon when temperatures drop and movement becomes more efficient. Continuous grazing combined with constant movement creates visible changes on the grassland surface. Areas graze low, stimulate regrowth quickly, and prevent the accumulation of tall, dense grass. After each rainy season, the grassland renews across wide areas due to the repeated migration cycle. Natural migration routes are being disrupted clearly. Fences appear more frequently. Roads expand each year. Land is divided into smaller areas for different purposes. These factors create firm barriers that break the continuous movement corridors that existed previously. In Etosha, some migration pathways remain functional, but their range is narrowing. Herds are forced to move through fixed, narrow passages with few alternatives. When these routes are constricted, many populations become separated for long periods. Individual exchange decreases sharply. Genetic diversity begins to decline, increasing vulnerability to environmental shifts and disease. This is a threat that is not easily observed, but its effects are long-lasting. During seasonal movements, blue wildebeest often travel with plains, zebras, Plains zebras have a medium body size, standing about 4 feet at the shoulder and weighing up to 770 pounds. Their social structure is organized into stable small groups. Each group includes one adult male, several females, and offspring. When conditions become more severe, especially in the dry season, these groups merge into larger herds. Collective movement helps them access grass and water across wide areas and maintain a stable migration rhythm. The black and white striped coat of the zebra creates a distinct visual effect when the herd moves. For blood-feeding insects and predators with limited color discrimination, the constantly shifting stripes distort the visual field. From dry, burned grasslands to deep, low-light waters, organisms distribute themselves according to stable patterns. Each species occupies a specific position that affects the surrounding environment directly. Existence does not depend on a single, strong or weak individual, but relies on balance between population size, food availability, and habitat conditions. When one component declines or disappears, established order changes immediately. A chain reaction spreads and affects many other species. The entire biological system is impacted from the ground surface to the deep ocean.